Lucky, lucky, lucky me. Lucky, lucky, lucky me. I won.
Hello everyone, and what is up? Guess what is new? I got blue hair. Well, I think I like it. My hair is kind of like a mess right now, and I need to go back because it's kind of actually, I've had it for I think a week now. But I've washed my hair quite a bit, and my roots kind of just like, no, I don't want to hold. But you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna go over it because I didn't use like a permanent color. Also, I use a semi-permanent because yeah. All right, so guess what we're going over? Boop. Look at this beauty. I don't want to blind y'all. We dipped our phalanges already in it. But I haven't used it, and I'm really excited to actually, because yeah, I love art. I really do. I should have, in high school, I should have finished in my art class, but I decided, no, Nadia, what are you gonna do with it? You ain't gonna do nothing with art. So I didn't. And now look at me, I'm a graphic designer. Not one of those things you would have thought. So, alright, so this beautiful palette, it is $28 on the Musee Beauty website. And also, when we're talking about this video, we're going to talk about Van Gogh. We're going to talk about him some, because why not? And I'm also going to talk about the texture and everything also. Let's get into it. Alright. To knock stuff over. It's okay. Alright, so let's dip into this with my Morphe M433 brush. And obviously, I'm going to use a lot of blues, because, you know, it works. Alright, so I'm going to read some of these facts off my phone, because I actually was looking at them earlier, because I was like, why not? Before I video record, why not go kind of talk about it some? Alright, so I'm going to go into the color called Sunflower, which is this gorgeous yellow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do yellow around the outside, go into green, and then blues. Oh, before I do that, grab some eye tape, because I want this shit snatched, okay? So, alright, so let's get into these facts. Alright, so if no one knew this, there are actually 4 Vincent van Goghs. What I was reading up on earlier, his grandfather was actually Vincent. Was a Vincent, obviously. And he was also the Vincent van Gogh, the one that's the artist, obviously, the one that we all know. He was actually named after his stillborn brother. Wild. You know what I mean? Pretty crazy. And then after, okay, his stillborn brother was one, his grandfather was one, he was one, and then his brother, Theo, actually named his son Vincent as well. So if you can know how confusing that family function was, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean? And if no one knew this, Vincent actually didn't really start painting until he was 27. So he wasn't sitting there painting all his life. This wasn't his like thing in the very beginning. His early paintings were not the colorful displays which most people are familiar with. When he started painting, he had used a dull palette of colors and painted some of the harsh realities of life. I'm not surprised. He was very, very depressed. But I wish they kind of like talked about it a little bit. Like, I don't know. Whenever I hear about people's artwork, I want to see all of it, alright? I don't want to just see some of it, because, yeah, don't get me wrong. I bet you, like, like they're his life. I mean, you know what I mean? It's kind of like how some people, they write to express themselves. All right, now I'm going in with this cypress, the green. And I'm using the same brush, just so you know. I just kind of like use my... I'm gonna go back with some of the yellow to kind of blend it in some. So. You know what? I'm gonna go into this green. Like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm gonna go into this green. But, like, some of the harsh realities that he did kind of go about was, like, poverty and financial hardships that has a common theme in many of his early artworks. So, and he was close friends, actually, with Paul Gauguin? I think that's how you say his name. Gauguin. But he was actually, they both painted together, and they met in Paris in 1887. The two painted together frequently, but were stylistically different. His friendship with Gauguin is thought to have ended after the ear-cutting accident. You know, whenever you hear that lawnmower. Yeah. Just, if y'all live down here, do not be, it's normal to see people riding on lawnmowers. Just down the road. But after the ear incident, the reason why people say maybe it ended after that because of some of the letters that he wrote. Because he wrote a lot of letters. He wrote like over 800 letters. I'm serious, like his life is documented through the many letters he wrote. Like he was, yeah. But I mean, hey, why not? I'm gonna go in with that yellow again. But Van Gogh wrote over 800 letters during his lifetime to his brother and close friends Theo. His artist friends Paul and Emily Bernard and many others, many of the letters were undated, but historians have been able to place most of the letters in chronological order. So I mean, yeah. And I'm going back over with some of that green. I forgot to do the yellow on the other side. But a lot of the times, it seemed like Van Gogh talked to his brother the most. Theo. So. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to, like, a strong bond with their family? Because I do. And actually, at some, like, they've realized Van Gogh didn't, he actually tried a lot of different things other than painting before he became a painter. Like, he tried a lot of different careers before declaring himself an artist. Van Gogh was only a painter for the last decade of his relatively short life. Okay, that sounds depressing. Before painting, he tried his hand at many other careers such as art dealer, like his brother. So that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Your brother being an art dealer and everything. And so, I wonder if his brother was the one that sold his paintings, like after Van Gogh had kicked the bucket, as one would per se. Because I'm just saying, there's a reason why they call starving artists, is because a lot of times paintings won't sell until, you know, after they're gone, because then they're like priceless, because they're never being remade. There would be never another painting ever like that ever again. And I think that's always kind of made me sad to think about. It's like, and I think that's a really great thing about social media and things like that, because back in the day, you didn't just hear about this painter in Paris, all right? Unless, you know, you were looking for it, if you were asking around, and if you had the money for that. I'm sorry if y'all can hear this like me. The machine is kind of going, so I'm trying to talk a little louder so you can hear me. But this is so far the green and that yellow, which I really like. But yes, I'm about to dip into the night color, which is this beautiful blue. Which is gonna be like right here. And I'm still using the same brush, guys. It's fairly easy. Not that hard of a person. Ooh, I like how it applies. Oh, can y'all spell Starry Night? Really, like if you actually, I used to have a really hard time understanding that it had 2 R's in it for some odd reason whenever I was in school. Now I know, but I don't know why I had such a hard time understanding this. Like, Nadia, it's not that hard, dear. Ooh, my camera went out of focus. So I'm putting the blue on my lids. And so, let's go back into the facts. He was actually extremely busy during his time as an artist. Even though he had a short kind of lifespan as an artist, about 10 years, he created about 2,100 pieces of artwork, including around 860 oil paintings. That's a lot. Like, go. Like, heck yes. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of... But I mean, hey, you know what? I feel like a lot of these things that he used creatively... My eyes look weird. Creatively? Thank you. Was like an outlet for him, because he did have a lot of problems, and we'll get more into it, but he had a lot of mental illnesses. And just so you know, mental health is as important as physical health. As much as some people are like, it's fine on a lot of things, no, take care of yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. I say that, but I'm really bad about taking my own advice. Okay, now I will say it's actually pretty easy to blend. No, I probably need maybe a little bit green, because I feel like I kind of lost some of that green. But yeah, it's a nice palette so far. And I don't know if his brother sold this paint, or no, it didn't. I don't know why I'm thinking. I don't know if his brother sold the paint. It's in 1990. Okay, this guy would be over 100 years old by this point. But his portrait of Dr. Gachet, it sold for $82.5 million in 1990s. That's a lot. And like we're gonna go into, he did not experience much commercial success during his lifetime. In fact, Van Gogh only thought of only like sold 1 painting during his lifetime. That is upsetting. That's so upsetting. But if y'all can hear my phone buzzing, it's okay. But yeah, that's very upsetting. And I just went in with the green. So far, it's so pretty. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah. The one piece that he did sell during his lifetime was the red vineyards near Aries, which is very upsetting. I would be so upset. I really would. And I'd be more upset due to the fact that if I passed away and then they finally sold, I'd be really upset. Like, what the heck? Alright, so I'm gonna go in with the Blossom, which is this really, here, I'm actually gonna use my finger to show you this like shiny blue. I'm gonna put on right here. Actually, I'm gonna use my finger, because why not? You know what I mean? Ooh, yes. All right. So that's how that one looks. Blend that out. And all right, so far that is the look. All right, so last fact before I go is that he really did have trouble with the mental illness, and that's where I'm gonna go into it. Van Gogh was troubled by mental illness for most of his life. He actually spent time in the psychiatric hospitals, including a period at St. Remy. I think that's how you say it. Evidence suggests that he had the manic depression. He had manic depression and suffered from psychotic episodes and delusions. Many modern-day psychiatrists have attempted to diagnose Van Gogh with possible diagnoses including schizophrenia, porphyria, syphilis, bipolar disorder, and epilepsy. That's a lot. He also neglected his physical health through poor diet and heavy drinking. But yeah. So take care of yourself, please. I love you, okay? I love everyone, and I want you to know you can always find help. Even though if it seems hard, you can always find it. So yeah. Alrighty. I will be right back. Alright, so I have my face on. Alright, so let's get into this. So we're gonna do the bottom of my lash, and then yeah. So I said we're gonna do like the last fact. But you know what? I really want to get into him about the cut in the ear, because that's pretty wild. So, let me get into the bottom brush. I'm going to use this as my bottom brush. And this is my M508 brush. And yeah, he did cut his own ear. Alright, so I'm going to go in with the... I'm gonna go in with this night color, which is that blue. Ooh, I touched my eyeball. And yeah. So there were a lot of theories surrounding the Van Gogh ear cutting incident. One of the popular theories is that Van Gogh took a razor to his left ear and partially severed it after getting into a fight with his fellow artist Paul. He then wrapped the partially severed ear in a paper and delivered it to a woman in a brothel. But it's really hard to say. Oh no, fallout. Alright, so you know what, if it happens, it happens. You can see the fallout pretty bad. But it's kind of like, there's other theories. There's like a lot of gray space, I feel like. You know what? Grab my spongy sponge. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna, you know. Did it work? Looks like I have a slight black eye, but you know what? You know, whatever. Looks good enough for me. But there's been a lot of like gray. They really don't know. There's a lot of different things. It's kind of hard. I mean, it's like the 1800s. It's really hard to. It's 2020. But and this is the end of Van Gogh. On July 27th of 1890, Van Gogh shot himself in the chest and died 2 days after. 2 days after shooting himself in the chest. 2 days after. That, oh God. All right, so I'm going in with some of that yellow. It's really hard to tell. It's kind of, oh well. Around the outer part. But yeah. It is thought that the shooting took place in the wheat field where he had been painting. After the shooting, he managed to walk back to his residence where he was treated by 2 doctors. However, he did eventually pass away as a result of infection. That sounds awful. But his last 2 words, according to his brother Theo, I'm gonna butcher this. I am so sorry. La tristesse durera tu juras, meaning the sadness will last forever. That. Now. Van Gogh. But yeah. But back to reality. 10 out of 10. I actually really like this palette. I dig it. It's very pretty. It was actually pretty easy to blend. I did lose some of the green a little bit, but I kind of hated it. But yeah. Well, I hope y'all have a great day. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And I really like the Musee Beauty. I love the artwork style and everything in the story. But yeah, I hope you'll have a great day. Bye.
So hit when I leave. Should've known by your rap sheet that you weren't nice. But now I am telling you, I'm going to smile.